Hi guys, I'm here today with your story out of the Dreams and Miracles book. So my hair's wild, isn't it? I just got up from taking a nap. Ooh, still very tired. I don't know what's wrong with me today. Just so very tired. Can't get my breath. The story I'm going to read to you guys today is by Luci and is called My Dream Prevented Me from Making a Mistake. Let's start off by reading the introduction. Luci has remarried since her husband Harold died in 1986. A writer, poet, and photographer, she is a gifted woman who knows how to make the most out of life. An avid traveler, she has sailed the Great Lakes, crisscrossed the country numerous times with her car and tent, and even gone bungee jumping in New Zealand. Luci teaches at Regent College in Vancouver, Canada, part of the year, and makes her home in California. She is the author of many wonderful books, including Polishing the Petsky Stone, Postcard from the Shore, and Riding the River. Shortly after Harold's death, she had a dream that gave her confidence when she most needed it. A few years later, another dream kept her from making a mistake she may well have regretted for the rest of her life. Now, let's get into the story. After Harold died, I felt absolutely overwhelmed, as though treading water in very stormy seas. I would get slapped in the face by a wave and then choke and sputter and nearly go under. Anyone who has lost a spouse knows that grief is only part of what makes bereavement so painful. Suddenly I was saddled with a bewildering array of legal and financial decisions I had never before handled. In my case, it was worse because I was forced to take the helm of our small publishing firm, which Harold had skillfully directed for so many years. I felt both saddened and betrayed. How could he have left me alone to face this chaos? He and God seemed to have fled at precisely the same moment. I lived each day bracing for the next wave, hoping and praying it would not capsize my small boat. One night, when I was feeling particularly low, I had a dream that changed everything. Harold's warm smile and welcoming voice greeted me as I stepped off the plane. "Glad you're home, honey." It was good to be back, to feel his arm around me as we gathered my luggage and made our way to the parking lot. As soon as we reached the car, Harold handed me the keys and simply said, "You drive." The gesture surprised me because he usually drove whenever we were together, but I slipped behind the wheel with a sense of relief. Harold sat in the passenger seat next to me. Then I woke up. It was such a simple dream, but tremendously comforting. It felt good to have Harold beside me again. Always an encourager, the Harold in my dreams was acting true to form. Handing me the keys was his way of giving me permission to take charge of new areas in my life. Instead of feeling abandoned, I felt a new assurance that God was with me. Looking back, I now see that my struggles enabled me to develop stronger spiritual muscles and the skills I needed to live on my own. 3 years later, I had another, more startling dream that prevented me from making a serious mistake. Though Harold and I had a wonderful life together, I wasn't particularly interested in remarrying. Hard as it had been to lose him, my life had regained a sense of balance. It was both rich and interesting, and I saw no reason to change things. But then I began to date an attractive man who had been a family friend for years. While Harold had been 13 years older than I, David, not his real name, was 17 years younger. An appealing and intriguing person, he and I shared similar interests, and it was always stimulating to be with him. Our conversations were fascinating and far-ranging, and it felt good to have someone care about me again. Still, I had doubts. I had never pictured myself marrying someone who had been divorced, as David had been. Further, my youngest daughter insisted I was making a huge mistake. At the time, I thought she was overreacting to the possibility I might remarry, but now I know better. Before long, David invited me to come for a visit. Could I fly out and spend several days with him? He told me he loved being together and that he was serious about our relationship. I felt uncertain and a bit cautious about going, but finally I thought, oh well, nothing ventured, nothing gained. Just as I was about to leave on the trip, I had a dream that made me reconsider. I don't remember much about the dream itself, but I could still hear the voice. Cancel your plane reservations. Do not make this visit. That was all. This was an astonishing experience for me, especially since I was always skeptical of people who say God told them to do this or that. Such claims often strike me as simple wish fulfillment rather than genuine spiritual experiences. But I was absolutely convinced that the voice in my dream belonged to God. It seemed a matter of obedience to cancel the trip, so I did. Not long afterward, I discovered that David had been making similar promises to other women at the same time he was dating me. What would have happened had I ignored my voice in my dream? I have little doubt I would have been inviting trouble. God spoke to me because he loved me. Now when I am tempted to doubt his care and protection, oh, he's choking me, she's sitting on my cord. Get off. Now when I am tempted to doubt his care and protection, I have only to recall the way he encouraged and warned me through these two very different dreams. And that was Lucy's story. I hope you guys enjoyed Lucy's story. And God willing, maybe we can come back tomorrow with another story for you guys. Bye guys. God bless.